Today I'm replacing the original factory tie rods on my 2003 Chevrolet Suburban GMT 800 to go from this to this. Now, if you don't drive this type of vehicle, that's okay. Most tie rods are somewhat similar, so you may get some pretty good ideas from this video. Now here's a sneak peek of the driver's side, which is already done, and I did this entire job with the wheel on. But in today's video on this passenger side, I'm gonna remove the wheel for the sake of being able to see what it is we're doing. Well, the vehicle's lifted safely with a supporting jack stand, the wheel's off, and now we can see what we're doing. Right here is our tie rod assembly. We have this inner portion inset to the vehicle and this outer portion which is connected to the knuckle. The job now is simply to remove the old tie rod assembly. And to do that, I'm going to start with this nut right here. And I did put blue Loctite on here when I installed this a bit ago, and I'm actually very impressed with how well it's holding this nut. Now to get this stud released from the knuckle, I'm just going to use a big hammer. Oh, I just saw it release. So that was easy. Well, now that this outer portion is released, all I have to do is remove the other side of it. This inner portion, which is simply screwed into the center link. Now let's look at the ball joint here on the end of this tie rod. It still seems good, like tight, there's no issues. And then looking at the ball joint on the inside, it also seems fairly good, and it holds itself up somewhat. And so if everything is still seemingly good, why am I doing this? Well, I believe in fixing things before they're broken. You know the old saying, if it ain't broke, fix it. These tie rods are original from 2003. They've got about 125,000 miles on them. And I've already done a bunch of other parts like the upper and lower ball joints on both sides. This is just kind of preventative maintenance, making sure that I really don't have to worry about these for a long time. The inner side of this tie rod is just a big hex head with essentially a bolt on it that screws right into the center link. So we just need a wrench big enough to remove it. Making sure the adjustable wrench is as tight as can be. Let's try it. Got it. For the new parts, I found something very interesting. These rugged duty units by Dorman. And this arm came with the jam nut, so I'll go ahead and install that now. And now I'll go ahead and put the two pieces together. So it's gonna look something like that. And of course, I can't forget this grease fitting. So that's it. That right there is our tie rod assembly. Here is the old versus new part. What do you guys think? Does the Dorman look good? And here's that inner side for you. Pretty similar. You can see I put this new part together fairly identical to the length of the old part. And on top of that, I'm gonna do a string alignment before I head down to the alignment shop. It's not gonna be super accurate, but it'll get me to the shop where they can do a professional job. Now, in order to install, I need to put some thread locker on the threads, and they did include this blue thread locker, but from everything I was reading, the factory calls for red. So that's what I'll be using. Plus, it matches the boot. Now, when you look inside this center link, you can see there is some grease in there, and that's normal, but we don't want grease on the threads like I see right there. Oh, well, there you have it, folks. They used red thread locker from the factory. I think I got it pretty clean, a lot cleaner than it was. And time for install. I am having a bit of an issue with this sway bar. It's just kind of right in the way, and that's because this entire assembly is just drooping all the way down. So I'm gonna jack it up and hopefully get that sway bar out of the way. All right, let's try this again. Oh, I think I already am catching threads. I'm having to move the arm, swing it kind of out of the way of the sway bar there. But we got it, it's going in. I think the torque on this is like 74 foot-pounds. Don't quote me on that. This isn't ideal, but I don't want it coming off. That's definitely past 74. And now this outer side, as you can imagine, is extremely simple. You're just lining everything up, pushing it into place. Once you have the stud in there, we can put the castle nut on, which again is very, very easy to do. Castle nut installed. And now I'll torque it. I think the spec is anywhere from 46 to 48. There we go. And then we simply install the cotter pin, which just so happens to be perfectly lined up. Cotter pin installed. And we can't forget to fill these things with grease. I have my handy dandy lock and lube fitting here. It's about 5 or 6 pumps there. And with both ends greased, you might think we're done, but we're not. I have one more surprise for you. You see these sway bar end links? Yeah, we're changing them. I picked up a brand new set from, you guessed it, Dorman. And these are the same rugged duty version. Wow, look at these things. They look great. And I really like that knurling there in the center section. So what do you say? Should we put one in? Let's do it. I put a pair of locking pliers on the barrel nut there, kind of hard to see. And from the very bottom of the link, we have a 15mm bolt. There we go. Gonna relax this control arm, which is dropping it down and allowing me to pull out the center section. You can see we are almost completely put together here. I did notice the factory used blue thread locker on the original one, so that's what I'm gonna do here as well. No, everything just fell out. What are the chances? All right, all we lost was our washer, our bushing, and then we have lastly our barrel nut and top bushing thread all together. And I think I'm gonna have to jack up the lower control arm just to kind of get everything more aligned. So that looks good to me. I'm gonna let down the lower control arm and see what happens here. Making sure my other jack and jack stands are still in place, and they are. I think we're good. Well, there's the top set of bushings, and that stud is hanging out kind of a lot on top. I'm assuming that's probably normal. Unless I put everything back together, put it on the ground, and these bushings are way squished, then I'll loosen things up a little bit. But for now, I'm gonna go with that. I think this looks pretty good, and I have a feeling these Dorman parts are gonna be really, really nice. All right, for a quick and dirty string alignment explanation, here's what we got going on. You can see I have a string tied to the jack stand, and that string runs all the way to the second jack stand down there. And what I've done is set the string up to be exactly 5 inches from the center of the wheel. Now on the back wheel here, we also have the string set exactly 5 inches from the center of the wheel. By doing that, we now have a line that is perfectly straight with the centers of the wheel. All I have to do is take a measurement on the rear of the rim, and you can see we are just about 3 5/8 there, and then take a measurement on the front of the rim, just under 3.5. With the front number being smaller, that means the tire is actually towed out. We actually want the tire to be towed in about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch on both sides. Under the truck, we can see the tie rod. Now I'm gonna back the jam nut off just a bit. And what we have to do is shorten the length here. That'll pull the front of the tire inward. You can see those flat markings there on the bar. That's where my 13mm wrench will go. And I'm taking this ruler and measuring out about 1/64 of an inch. The distance between this outer tie rod and this nut. And then all I'm gonna do is turn this bar righty-tighty into the end link here and close that gap. And the gap is closed. Let's remeasure. Okay, taking the measurement didn't yield any results, and that's because, well, the tire just didn't move, it was stuck. So I think what actually moved was my steering wheel. So I simply started it up and recentered the steering wheel. All right, now through multiple adjustments, let's check where we're at. This is the rear of that front wheel, and we are just past 3.5. And here's the front of that front wheel, and we are about 3/32 past 3.5. The number's bigger in the front because we are towed in just a little bit, about 1/16 of an inch, which is pretty much exactly what we want. So I think this one's good. And now, of course, I'll just repeat this process on the passenger side. Well, would you believe if I told you the alignment turned out perfectly? Yeah, it drives perfectly straight down the road. The steering wheel is perfectly straight. Never did I think I was gonna be able to get the alignment that good with a tape measure and a string. I've tried that before and failed miserably. But I think because I've tried it a few times in the past, it's made more sense to me this time. And it was easier. I, of course, had to be extremely precise. You really have to be a perfectionist when you're doing this. But I think the main ticket was every adjustment I did, I started the vehicle up and recentered that steering wheel. Because what I learned was the adjustments did not make the tires turn, like what would normally happen at a professional shop. It made the steering wheel turn. The tires are glued to the ground. Even though I had trash bags under them, Anyway, so I had to get in, restart the vehicle, recenter the steering wheel as best I can and as perfectly as I could every single time. And it turned out fantastic. I don't even know if I need to go to the shop because it drives so good. So now we have new tie rods, sway bar end links, new alignment, and the install went great. The products look great. They seem built really tough. I'm excited, guys. I just learned about these Dorman Rugged Duty and did a little research, of course, before I bought them. I can't wait to just run these for a while and be able to report back to you guys with kind of how things are going. Well, hey, that'll do it for this one. If you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, anything, hit that thumbs up. It really helps this video and the whole channel. And if you've watched this far and you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. I'm Jimmy for One Road here on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one.